Hello and welcome back to the latest episode of Beyond 2D, the podcast where I just talk about nothing for 20 to 30 minutes. And you guys, some of you still come to listen. Welcome back, or welcome to. If this is your first episode, there's a playlist that you maybe want to go start at the beginning, but there is a few things I want to talk about in this episode specifically. First, as you can see from the title and thumbnail, I started watching One Piece. Second, I didn't upload last week. Or at least I didn't upload a podcast last week. Third, as you can see, the thumbnail is a bit different. And fourth, I'm streaming. Streaming a lot more frequently, kind of. So, first thing I want to talk about. I didn't post a podcast last week. I'm sorry for that. Life has been pretty hectic, especially with the addition of live streaming now. That kind of takes over a lot of the free time I do have. Other free time I use to spend with my family or my girlfriend and do stuff like that, you know? Also watch anime. And then also the other free time I use is to stream. I'm streaming a lot more now. I streamed a lot on TikTok, but now I've moved over to Twitch, a more permanent streaming platform. If you haven't followed me yet, go follow me, twitch.tv/arig2d. It'll be in the description down below. Just click the link. And come join my streams. I stream usually on weekends for sure, and some nights during the week. And streaming has become a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed it. It's hard, it's harder than what people think. I'm not going to say it's a hard job, or it's a hard thing to do, because compared to, being a doctor and stuff, it's fucking easy. But it is difficult to sit there and be entertaining for people. And it's very disheartening when you see people leave because you think, am I not being entertaining enough? Do I need to change it up? And then, I don't know. But I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying the interaction with my followers. I'm definitely enjoying kind of sharing different things and doing different things and expanding my content creation sphere. And then also, moving to Twitch has been very different. TikTok was really easy to live stream. And that's where a majority of my audience is, obviously. 34K of you, which, again, grateful for that number. And that's where most of my audience is, so I thought the natural progression would just be to live stream on TikTok. But TikTok just kind of takes everything. They take a large portion of donations because those donations are money that's moved into coins, and then those coins are used to buy these emoji things that are then gifted to the live streamer, who then gets that amount of coins, but then they take another cut off of it if you want to transfer into real money, which is just insane. And I know Twitch takes a large portion of donations, or rather subs and stuff too, but I haven't gotten to that point yet, and we'll get to it when we get to it. We'll see how long I'm streaming for, but I've been really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who comes out to these streams. I really do appreciate it. I know a lot of you regulars, and also I appreciate you coming down, and I enjoy talking to you guys whenever I do. Also, I have a Discord, for those of you who don't know. That will also be in the description, and if I forget to put it in the description, it is in my TikTok bio. But yeah, streaming has been probably the biggest change to my life, aside from starting One Piece. But before I get to that, as you can see, the thumbnail of this video is a bit different. Again, I'm recording this, I haven't made the thumbnail yet, but it is a bit different because I lost the template to my old thumbnail. Essentially, how I had it is I had it saved as an Illustrator file, my old thumbnail. So I would just need to replace the two photos there that are layered behind the stuff on top. But that's gone because I lost access to my Illustrator. I'm not going to say why, but I can no longer use Adobe Illustrator, so I need to use a different software, and I don't have that setting. And also, I think I need to change the thumbnail to try to make it more engaging, because right now, I don't feel like it's engaging for new people to come and watch. And that's perfectly understandable. I wouldn't want to watch some 20-minute podcast from some random guy that I have no idea who he is. And that's perfectly fair. So again, the thumbnail is different, and that's why. But yes, the main cojones of this video. One Piece. Well, before I get to that, I'm sorry I'm just edging you here, but I did start up a PayPal for donations and or video requests. You for sure do not have to donate anything to that. if you want a video made, just leave comments and I will reply to those comments and make videos. But if you want it to be basically guaranteed that I make a video about it, or if you just really want to support me directly, that is the best way. And I appreciate everybody who's donated. But anyways, One Piece. I started One Piece. I'm on episode 65. But I have skipped some filler. So I haven't watched 65 episodes, but like essentially, I've become like to that point of an anime fan, especially a shonen fan, where I can just tell an arc is going to be filler just from like the first few minutes of the episode. So this is going to be like minor spoilers of One Piece up to the start of the Grand Line. So like the whole East Blue saga, I guess I'll spoil, which I heard isn't a bad thing because the East Blue saga isn't really much, and it's essentially all covered in the live action if you've watched it. But yeah, I could just tell when some episodes are filler. Like the whole that Buggy episode where Buggy gets like is on an island with a hunter and like animals. You can tell that's filler just from the start. And from the title, it's like Buggy's Adventures or something. And also there's this arc right before they entered the Grand Line. There's this like almost 10 episode filler arc where this girl is like protecting a dragon scale or something and the Straw Hats help her. I could tell from the moment that episode started, when it opened with a girl looking out a window, I'm like, this is going to be filler. And turns out it was. So I skipped that whole arc. Up to the ending of the last episode of that arc because I wanted to see them enter the Grand Line canal mountain thing, I think it's called the Red Line. But yeah, my thoughts so far on One Piece. It's okay right now. People may see me as the One Piece hater because I have hated on it a lot. I have, but a lot of my criticisms have been pretty fair. As someone who never watched it, the criticisms are pretty fair. And I have given One Piece a try up to like episode 30 a bunch of times, and this is the farthest I've ever gotten. And even where I am now compared to like the first few episodes, it's dramatically different. First off, it looks so much better. I know it's like a 65 episode, that's over a year of the show airing, so obviously it would have developed, but it looks so much better. It's a lot more tolerable. That was my major criticism at the start, is it looked really bad. And I mean, I have watched the Gear 5 fight, and a lot of people give me hate for saying this, but it doesn't even look that great in modern animation comparison. But I know it's a big, eventful, emotional, memorable fight, whatever. We'll get to that when we get to that. But the other criticism I have is it's too long, which is fair enough. But I kind of see the reasoning for the length. And it makes sense why it's been going on for so long, how we set it up to go on for this long. Because the scale of what Oda, for those of you who don't know, Oda's the author, the scale of what he has started is insane. With every coming episode, he kind of adds something that makes the scale of the story and just kind of the absurdity of the story exponential. Like, there's so many different things in the show that just add to the, like, they're just so random, but they're just insane. Like, for instance, take example is like the giant whale in that whole starting arc, right when they enter the Grand Blue, or the Grand Blue Line, I don't know, whatever it's called. The whale is just ginormous. Like, they said that, oh, the biggest creature ever. And this man built like a fortress inside the whale and had an island and was living in there and was able to paint. Like, it's just so wild. It's like, take the wildest, goofiest imagination of a child and put that into a show, and that's what One Piece really feels like so far. And I guess that's why it kind of makes sense that like the Gear 5 fight was so goofy and was so like silly, because that's kind of like the whole theme of the show. And I saw a lot of comments on TikTok basically saying like, oh, the goofiness counteracts, and like because it's so goofy, the harder hitting scenes hit harder, which doesn't really make sense. Like, that, if anything, like if a show is so goofy, then the hard hitting moments won't really hit as hard because there's no theme. Like, if it's out of nowhere, then it doesn't feel justified. But I'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But the show, again, the most amazing part about One Piece so far that I've seen, and again, I'm not becoming some One Piece fanboy, no. Like, the show's okay, but what I find amazing is, yeah, just the scope of the story that he's already telling. Like, 65 episodes in, like, essentially, like, I'm actually just starting One Piece now. Like, the whole East Blue arc is really like a real start. Once they enter the Grand Line, that's like the real start of One Piece. And you can already tell how gigantic the story is and how wide the scope he's casting. And like the whole fact that he, like, the guy explains the whole thing where it's like, oh, there's like 7 routes you need to take, and it takes you to each of these islands, and they all lead up to the final island, which is where Gold Roger is holding the One Piece, maybe, possibly. They literally set it out as like a story mode in a video game. We're like, okay, you're gonna go through this island, this island, this island, this island, and they're gonna get harder, 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 and you need to be stronger, 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 stronger. And that's probably the best part about One Piece, is the massive scale, and I feel that sense of like, oh shit, like an adventure is about to start. And I haven't really felt that with many other shows, so props to One Piece. I know a lot of people compliment it for that, and yeah. But other than that, everything else about the show is kind of meh. The fight scenes are kind of meh. The animation, obviously, right now was very subpar. Like, even old Naruto had better animation, or at least made it cooler, because of the mix with the bad animation and just the silliness. And the art style, it kind of feels like a Saturday morning cartoon still. It doesn't really feel yet like it's an anime. Which a lot of older anime kind of have like the fault of, where it's like it feels a lot like it's really directed at kids, which it was back then. One thing I do like about One Piece, though, is the music. Well, only the one song, the one like intense song that like always plays when like there's to be a battle, and it plays during like the Gear 5 fight or whatever, like the dun 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 dun, like that. That's a banger. I bop my head every time that comes on, and that's a good part. That and the giant, like, I guess that's why people always claim One Piece has the best world building, which I mean I've yet to see. I feel like I need to consume more of the show, and that's a crazy thing to say, because I can say from Vinland Saga, only watching what, like 36 episodes or 50 episodes, give or take, 48, that it has great world building. But it has great world building because it's based off of the real world, where they explain it so perfectly. But I've watched like 60 episodes of One Piece, and yet I can't really comment on the world building, which is why I kind of think it's an unfair thing to say that these giant shonen have good world building. Because it's almost like expected. If you have 1,000 episodes or 1,000 chapters to write a world, like, you're gonna hope it's in depth and it makes sense. But I think the more amazing thing is when shows that are only 12 episodes, 24 episodes can build a world that's as immersive and as interesting as some of these other worlds. So I've yet to see like the amazing world building in One Piece, but I do feel like the amazing adventure aspect of it, and like kind of like the whole like giant scope of it, where you're like, what the hell are they gonna do next? Because they start off the show with just something so wild. They enter the Grand Blue, and it's just already a wild journey. They just enter into a whale, and someone's living inside this whale, and they need to stop these poachers from killing this whale. And then they go to the city that has giant cactuses, and they're all trying to kill them. Like, the scale is insane. But again, I don't know how I feel about the show yet. I'm somewhat enjoying it, but granted, I am like only partly watching it. Like, I don't think I would be able to watch this many episodes if I was just straight up sitting there watching it. I'm doing other stuff while having it on the side monitor, because again, not much is really happening yet. And also, it's just so drawn out, like all old shonen, where it'd almost be impossible to just sit there and just stare at the screen. I need to be doing something else. So like, I'm working and I have it on the side monitor, or I'm editing and I have it on the side monitor. And that's probably the best way to go through it, which is how I've seen other people get through it. Now about the characters. Luffy in the anime is a lot better than Luffy in the live action. I hate every other character, and then Sanji is okay. Sanji's probably my favorite character. Zoro, I thought would be my favorite character. He's like, oh, the badass swordsman. But he's kind of just weird. Nami's just annoying. Usopp is very annoying, awful character. And Luffy's okay. Like, a lot of people hate Luffy. At least I hear, or I think I remember people hating on Luffy. But like, he's fine. He's an okay character, and I think Sanji is probably my favorite character. He goes all simp mode for Nami, which is somewhat funny sometimes. And also, he's just the least annoying and the least weird in that terms. And every other side character we've run into so far, except for Shanks. Shanks is pretty cool. The smoke guy in Lock City is pretty cool. But other than that, all the other characters kind of just suck. And speaking of Shanks, I hate it, but then I also like it when these shows have these characters that have this, like, unknown power, but, like, you know they're powerful, but you don't really know how powerful they are. Like, the direct comparison is Hunter x Hunter with Gon's dad. Like, you just have this thing where Gon's dad at the start, oh yeah, he's a great hunter. And then, like, oh yeah, he's super strong as you go through. Oh my god, you're Gon Freak's son? Like, oh my god. Or, sorry, you're, Gene Freak's son. Oh, look, he made this giant game, and then he's friends with this guy who's really strong. So I'm assuming he's really strong, and oh wow, he's part of the Zodiacs. I think that's what they're called, like the top counselor underneath Netero. And then, like, some people are saying he's like the top 3 Nen user, but you never see him fight, so you never know how strong he is. And, like, I hate that because, like, I want to know how strong they are. I like knowing. It's my shonen brain in me. Just, like, give me, like, a power level. I want to know how strong he is, or I want to see him fight. I want to see him destroy somebody so I can have some gauge. But people just saying he's strong and then them just being in, like, a place. Like, the same thing with Shanks. You have, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it shows in live action, where you have, the guy with, like, the cross sword. I forgot his name. But he's one of, like, the warlords of the sea. Like, the top, like, 7 warlords of the sea, which means he's super strong. He cuts a ship in half with a slice of a sword from, like, a mile away. Everybody's intimidated by him. He just absolutely destroys Zoro, like, no competition at all. And then he walks up to Shanks and is like, oh, look at Luffy, blah, blah, blah. And then also Shanks is like, oh, you want a rematch? And he's like, no, I don't think, like, I want to fight you now. Like, I don't want to rematch now because you have one less arm or something. So it's something like, basically to say that Shanks beat him, which means he's stronger than the 7 warlords, or at least one of the 7 warlords, which means he's strong, but we don't know how strong he is. I just like having that, like, power system thing. And I'm sorry if this part right now sounds a bit different, or like I sound like I'm on a bit different train of mind, or I'm repeating myself. I recorded the first part of this episode yesterday, and now I'm recording this episode today. This is why this episode's going up a bit later today on Tuesday, because I had to stop recording, and then I'm recording it now on my lunch break, essentially. But yeah, One Piece, it's okay. I will continue watching it. I'm probably not going to watch it every day. I'll try to get through it, and I'll try to update you guys on my thoughts about it all, if you guys really care. What else have I talked about? I also am, what's it called? I want to start making different videos on my YouTube channel, or at least ones similar to the starting videos. The only issue with those ones is they take a lot longer, so I won't be able to make these plus that, plus live stream, plus work full time. So don't expect a video like that every week, maybe every so often, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, depends on me getting to that stage. Because I have a bunch of ideas for videos. Like, I have a bunch of ideas. I have a bunch of thumbnail ideas with a bunch of title ideas and what I'm going to say. But the actual act of starting it, I love to procrastinate. And it's just a very daunting task, especially since I wanted to make it look good and sound good. But I really suck at editing, and I really don't like editing at all. All my videos suck with editing, and even then, like, those take me hours to edit. It's crazy. But I want to make those videos, and I have ideas, and I have things I want to talk about. Like, I want to talk about spoilers here, I guess, for future videos. Like, there's videos I want to talk about certain, okay, you know, I'm not going to spoil too much. But there's ones where I want to make about certain anime. I want to make about certain openings. I want to make about certain anime concepts, different tropes in the otaku or, like, weeb culture. Also want to make IRL videos, maybe including some of my followers in the Discord or whatever. So if you want to be a part of that, join my Discord. Also, I started a PayPal, and you may think it's like a really sellouty thing, like I'm just asking for money, but I'm fully not. Like, you do not have to donate it to at all. Like, donate to it at all. Like, you're still going to get content. I'm not going to paywall anything, but if you want to give me some support by sending money, or if you want to get a video request done on TikTok, then that would be the best way. I'm still going to make videos based off what people talk about on TikTok, but if you want me to basically prioritize it, then that's the best way to do it. And also, it helps support me, because I want to turn this is, as cringe as it sounds, this is what I'm really passionate about making is videos like this and doing this as a career, but obviously I'm barely making anything off of it, if not anything. The only money I've made is off TikTok Live so far. I had someone who graciously donated me on PayPal. That's all the money I've made. It's been like, what, $40? So far from a sustainable wage, but I want to get it to that point, and that's why I want to try to do these things. If you want to support me, go ahead. If not, that's perfectly okay. You're still going to get all the videos. But yeah, that's probably about it for this episode. I have no concept on how long it is because it's in 2 different parts. I need to edit it and put it up today. I'm sorry for it going up late. I'm sorry for it looking different, sounding different. But you know what? That's life. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for more types of videos and more episodes like this. But anyways, guys, thank you. Have a great day, great evening, great night, and I will see you all next time. Bye.